time expands, got fans in foreign lands. Germany, Africa, France, Japan. Now who's my man? How you count them all in one hand? Keep on playing tight like I'm controlling this mic. See the snap, you can't touch it like skies above it. It's only natural, you can't help but love it.
Don't you love it?
East Coast worldwide. The other side is mine. Explosive, vocalist, keep the flow, so y'all can quote this. Stop knocking my opponents, crush my opponents. Now y'all take notice, but can you analyze this? All eyes on these four swim out. Catch a glimpse, catch a rhyme related. These pages is illustrated. Now we on the top floor, starting from the basement. Maneuver ways to distract the AC. My category out of Buffalo, the article from coast to coast. Worldwide, still urban built, represented. The highlights of living life, strictly infinite. Now we know who rock the stages, moving crowds and teams. This goes to unbelievable, start the shit was a dream. Now what? You can't touch it like skies above it. It's only natural, you can't help but love it. So yeah, love it. East Coast worldwide. Your number side was mine. Parts in life, full of endurance. It's only natural, you can't help but love it. Yeah, East Coast worldwide. Yeah, your number side was mine. Parts in life, full of endurance. It's only natural, you can't help but love it. Now y'all playing witness. The cycle facts and fictions. It's explicit. Plenty of twists, survival of the fittest. They never stand past the present. Now look the future. The game's future. Don't let it fool you.
Kelly Green, I see you.
We regulate this is the daily routine. I narrate, follow me, walk the love down. Watch it get worse. Controversial rap lines, count the bars of my verse. It's Rob on one, official cat. Now don't you love that? Look that, push it back, I'm taking the scratch. Yeah, fuck that. Put a murder bill on the map. The way these guns clap, it's all swim out. I have to try to think about that. The next time you try to predict, you get left sick. Open the braces, shit is sick. Yo, step, you can't touch it like skies above it. It's only natural, you can't help but love it. Yeah, East Coast worldwide. Your number time is mine. Parts in life, full of endurance. It's only natural, you can't help but love it.
Don't you love it?
East Coast worldwide. Yeah, your number time is mine.
All right, now what I'll be talking about today is gematria, of course, as you can see by the title. All coming back to the number. Yes, this video has to do with 4 and 5 too. This is something I just came across today, and I just figured this information out today. Thankful to the person who created this video. Going to be learning and not chatting as much today. That's cool. Comprehensible. So today, 45. I don't know how quick this video will be either, but like I said, all I'm doing is answering the question that someone cunningly threw in the air. I would not, like I said, I won't tolerate anybody joking on what I've done because it's so heavy of an essence of a discovery. Let me make sure I take this brightness down so I can be seeing better. And yeah, so I'm answering the question is what I'm doing, and it's not just for him. It's because I actually came across this, and when I come across this information, you tie right back into it. That's the whole point of it. The name of the channel is the 45 Degree Discovery, so I'm just taking note of everything I come across. So if people subscribe to the fact of gematria and say they utilize gematria in their journey of truth and all of that. The fact is that, you can't look over my work and what I've done because my stuff ties exactly into that. And the core of gematria, at its root and everything, you're going to hear about that being discussed within this video from a very deep perspective like you won't find anywhere else. Because people use gematria, but they don't know even that. The same people who use gematria are not studious with the Hebrew language, which is what gematria is based off of. The reason why this video is so important is because the fact is gematria has the same base word as geometry. Geom, G-E, the big letter G. And that's very significant. You know, they're both gematria is like the measurement of what you're measuring words, you know, via the essence of number. Now, as far as geometry, that's literally what this is. This is geo and metrics. The word metrics is in there, measuring. Measuring is to make sure. All you taking out is switching around. See if you measure, MAES, which is taking out the K. Make sure it's measured. So when you measure something, you making sure it's what it's supposed to be. That's what measurement is for. Everything in life, as far as speed, you cannot go throughout the day without using measurements. And whenever you use a measurement, you have to use a number. Everybody wakes up at a certain time of the day in order to go to work. The time that you wake up is a measurement. You got to wake up and measure out the time that you sleep, measure out the time that you wake up and go to work. What you do after work, you got to measure everything out. You got to make sure everything is right. Uh, Now, measurement uh, goes on all different levels. This is where, when you talk about the elements, measurement of those is one of the main things that is tied into. That's why it's called geometry, earth measuring. So you're measuring, when we measure fire, we're measuring, when we measure that, it's really not really fire, it's really kind of heat. Uh, you know, heat, fire is a very, it's kind of almost like the more, as you go up through the elements and everything, they become more mysterious until you get to that center point, which is the most mysterious. Because fire is a very mysterious element to me, to a degree, because it can be seen as negative by some people, but it's really, like I say, every one of us is a receiver, and we can perceive something. Perceive and receive are spelled with the same letters. Now, the reason that people don't get that, some people just think when they hear someone say these two words are spelled with the same letters. Nobody's just pointing that out and just pointing it out just to sound cool. You know, a basic thinking person would say that, and think that, on that level, as far as all it, just because they got the same letters don't mean nothing. You're not teaching nothing. I'm not really here. People can. It's really what people get out of this channel is what they already coming out here with preliminary expectations of. If you're already coming here expecting me to be teaching and being a teacher, that's not what I said, and that's not what my about page is. So therefore, you would be disappointed. I'm not here to really teach. Teaching is part of what I'm doing because I'm all about knowledge. I'm just really here expressing what I see as the truth and showing and documenting the journey that I'm going down with all of the knowledge that I am expressing and finding day to day. Uh, it may not be day to day broadcast, but I am doing such. But anyway, man, the fact is, with life and everything, measuring, making sure, geometry, all of this stuff is part of life. Speed limits. If you go over the speed limit, your car don't measure the speed limit right, make sure it's right. It's you're gonna be in some trouble down the road. No pun intended. So it's number is very important, and that's why I pointed out and I said in my previous video, I said that what I know that people question, one of the deep questions is who is God's God? If God is a God, then who created God? It really ain't. You see, the thing about it is general. The G is, that's why the G is so important. What does the G stand for inside of the Freemasonic square and compass? It stands for many things that people can come up with, but one of them specifically is geometry. But another one is the generative principle or generation. Generation has to do with the word gene, starting up, keeping going, generations, generating energy, energy, generation. So all of this stuff really got to deal with each other, and therefore energy itself. That's why a lot of people say energy is God. But the thing is, energy and numbers perpetual. Without each other, if it ain't no energy, it ain't gonna be no animation. If ain't no animation for something to move from one sense to the next, from one point to the next, then that's what death really, that's what ultimate death really is, and that's why death does not exist. That's why I'm saying time and numbers. Like, so when you hear people say and repeat, you got to think this is what's repeated by people. This is what everybody repeats. But PR Corey, I don't go. I think for myself literally, and that's why I'm creating what I'm creating. See what I see, and it's undeniable facts as you proceed to hear it backed by stuff in this video. Once again, just like the one I just showed yesterday and the many previous I have. But everything is set up like it is for a specific reason, man. And I was just about to say something real important, but the fact is, when it comes down to uh, yeah, that's what I was saying. Time and energy. Time and energy is so freaking, synonymous. And when people say that time does not exist, I do not subscribe to that. Is what I was saying. I'm not that time does exist. People and people who don't get that, I ain't got nothing really to say to people. Like I say, I ain't here to even teach people, but one thing people ain't gonna do is come over here and try to correct me on something ain't no reason to be corrected on. It's factual based. You know, uh, that's all that I'm saying. Everybody ain't got to 100% agree with everything that I say, but if it's facts, it's facts, and I know when I'm speaking 100% facts on something, and I know when I'm speaking opinionated. That's when I'm open for disagreement. I open up and say that. But anyway, just the time and energy generation. See, without time, without a measurement of time, without that's why I was saying God. What would be God's God? It ain't really about the creator aspect. It's about things that it couldn't live without. Time is one of them, an essence of time or measurement. That's why it's so important because God still see all of these events that we can't control that's happening with the sky. We didn't set up the astrological events to set up and be as they are and occur every so and such years. And this is all stuff that this is math that you have to read back and do yourself and check yourself on what they say as far as when stuff occurs and stuff or when it has occurred. But we didn't set this up. I know a lot of people go into the metaphysical, but PR Corey is talking about. I don't like to do all of that. We are stuff that you can't tangibly even prove and pull out. Everybody can't witness as one. I focus on what's real for a reason. I'm not stuck on what's here as far as and my goal is not to if there is anything higher, I'm very much willing in my soul to reach out and grasp for that. But I realized through my walk of life that the real ultimate goal is you don't know what you were before here. I feel like that's a big part and a reason, very important as far as our life, that a lot of people look over. But you don't know what you were before this life, and you don't know what you're going to be after. All you know is the present and right now. And therefore, right now is what we're supposed to be making better. Or based off of what we can see, which is left here from the past, and we use that to build and make better for the future. And that's why I stand for what I stand for and have discovered what I discovered. And it ties into the great pyramids of the future. Like I say, it can sound preposterous as it wants to people, but the truth of it is, man, that's a vision, a goal, and a very bright move for not just my people, but all people, especially over here. And like I say, this is a lot of people seeing it as the United States is going down. I know exactly what's going on. When you talk about Illuminati and stuff like that, man, I know what I know because I am Illuminati. Look, man, and when I say that, what does Illuminati mean? They say it means enlightened ones. Well, I'm telling people and showing people the greatest that I can that I know what's going on before it's even happening. I can fit, and even if I don't know it directly and won't say it directly, at least I won't lie and say I know what it is directly. But I can feel something and I can descriptively feel it and tell it when the time to get ready. And it ain't just happen one time. So I got a prophetic type of somebody said within the last stream in the comment section, something about, maybe PR can mean profit. Yep, it could. It could, like I say, PR can mean many different things. What I realize as well, you know, Jupiter, the magic square of Jupiter is on 4x4, 4x4 base. Jupiter, I was also saying, is synonymous with, it ain't too many words that you find in the English language that start with the letters JU. Um, so, besides July, Jupiter, and I can't even think, and just, Juke, um, I can't think of anything else as far as JU. So, therefore, those being and J is a newly created, inserted letter within. This all comes back to gematria. This is on topic because we're talking about letters. This is, letters. All of this stuff goes into gematria. What letters and all of this stuff. So it's all coming and tying together for a reason. Um, J was a newly inserted language. I mean, letter within the English language. So it's really new. So all of the that's why there ain't many words within itself as well. So therefore, by default, the words I think, I'm just saying I think they ain't concluding on that. But based on some evidence and facts that I have seen, I'm just saying I think that they would automatically have some type of link together. Uh, Jupiter and July, stuff like that. But anyway, Magic Square Jupiter is on a 4x4 square, and they add up to be 34. I brought that up because PR come out to be 34 as well. When you take the letter P and then you add it to the letter R, it come out to be 34. And 34 come out to be 7. And I was born in the 7th month of and that's July. So, you know, uh, and people can play word games and everything as much as they want to, but July and say you lying and stuff like that. It's a funny joke, but the reality is, I ain't up here lying and they ain't able to come back with this much, redundant evidence to back and support my claims. I'm not coming with anything basis, and that's why nobody will logic. See, the thing is, people can try to insert me, or I mean, insult me, or whatever they can try to, do and say amongst their peers and stuff like that. And it ain't no bother to me, man. I mean, it is what it is. But the reality is, I ain't affected by it because the thing is, what they won't debate is the knowledge itself because they know that they can't knock that down. I dare the same people who do have anything negative to say about my work or really about they have said anything about me because it's only personal attack. But they can't do the same thing about this 45 thing because it's a knockout right off the bat, and that's why you do not see people come for me. And I do appreciate all of the likes that I have been getting. I've turned the likes off. I ain't mentioned and said nothing about it, but I appreciate all the likes I've been getting. People who've been doing right by me. The views ain't going up, but I ain't been trying to get out there like that because I really ain't trying to put this channel out there like that because of how the crowd that I got over here and how people act with me. Like I say, the white interaction is different from the black people. So I'm honestly, I'm just being real and being upfront. I'm keeping the two separate, because I mean it's cool as far as to a degree if people come across whatever channel they come across, it is what it is. But I don't really want the two because it just ain't the same type of energy, bro. Like when white people support me, I'm just being real. It's different. It ain't sometimey, they they here all the time and everything, but and it ain't no hating or nothing. It's actually some offers to try to help and stuff like that. Actually, instead of no down talking at all. And actually, insertions of, hey, bro, I noticed this and this support what you're saying. So, I think you onto something, stuff along those lines. But from, my own kind, I'd be fake as hell if I didn't voice the real from my own kind. It just ain't the same energy. It ain't the same thing. And people can say whatever it is about the energy that I put out, but I only react. And people can't control how I react to actions they emit, you know. If you put out the actions, I'm gonna react how I choose to, because you acted how you chose to. So you can't. If I can't judge you for how you acted, you sure can't judge me for how I react. So, and sometimes taking no action is a poor action within itself. And that's the issue with us. We don't take action with each other, white people, and that's what I'm saying. We the same people. Most of us niggas will agree. That. I mean, think about it. It's people who come over here from other countries and they get ahead. And I'm getting off the topic from the main line, but it's people from other countries who come over here and they get ahead and they make it. And we already been over here for years and we be complaining and don't get nowhere. We just want to stay in the hood and focus on hood stuff. And if you don't display no hood mentality, then niggas want to treat you like you ain't nothing worth nothing, or like you less of a man or something. Like you really, really want to fuck their ass up. Probably too, because people ain't gotta be. You ain't gotta be no gangster to be. If you get drove to a certain point, you never know what the next man may do, and that's just a fact. That's one thing I have learned in life. That's why I respect other people. Fear niggas, so, I ain't gonna say I don't, to a degree, because this nigga, I don't care what nobody say, bro. It's one thing, fighting is one thing. Torture is a whole nother thing. Can't no man endure that. That's a whole nother thing. You can't. It ain't nothing. I don't care what nobody say. It ain't nothing you can do. Don't matter how big you is, how many kick moves you can pull when a group of niggas get on you, and that's just a fact. And a lot of niggas want to admit that. A lot of niggas are stand, but most of it, this is just way off, and way going crazy. But that's just the mentality. Even I'm sorry that I even have to talk about that. I don't have to really, but I'm just being real. Um, we got to grow past a certain level of thought, and I realized that obviously some people ain't, at a certain level of thought to where they realize the significance of what I'm doing. They ain't gonna think it's significant until I get some money, until I get some Bitcoin or something like that from what I'm doing. Then it's gonna be a whole nother level. When same people who know about, say, hey, I might be the artist worth investing in. I'm being real. I'm just being real. Our people don't think on that level. I remember when I was younger. It's like when you're younger and everything, people more willing. I got so much freaking support when I was younger, bro. Just I mean, just and it seemed like it wasn't even long ago, but it's crazy how shit. Just no support at all, bro. Like if I had the support when I had no direction, when I was trying to be under Snoop Dogg's wing, under Wiz Khalifa wing, under all of the, the OGs went, because I wasn't messing with even rappers my age. I wasn't trying to kick it with Lil Uzi and all of these other cats. I wasn't into that. I met Ray Shrimmer now, and I ain't even know who they was, but they was big as hell, you know, and that's crazy. I ain't gonna never forget that day. But I know that I don't talk about everything I've been through, but everything, every walk, that every point that I've been through in my life, I realize I've been through for a reason. I'm somebody real important, very important, and I'm humble as well. See, and I know that's contrary to what some people would think, because that's contrary to the definition, the book definition of humble and everything. What I mean by humble and what I'm saying is, I ain't got to see myself as not important. You know, I don't have to see myself as not important. I see myself on the same level as others, but I see myself as standing out. See, I can be on the same exact level as a full black crowd, but I can be the only white dot. That's what the whole black sheep is. The sheep thing is about. A lot of people won't look at that and realize that. A lot of people don't get that black and white checkerboard that the Masons got, the level, everything being on the same level, even the eye with the duality. But the reality aspect is, I'm that black sheep that's standing up. I ain't on the level higher than nobody is how I see myself. I'm on the same level, but can't nobody get over the fact that I stand out, that I'm not like the rest of it. I'm just not like everybody else, man. And I see that. I really see that, and that's how it was with Jesus, most hated, to a degree. To a degree. I ain't saying that it was real or not, but I'm showing a whole bunch of synchronicity through my work and what I'm focusing on in life, how real and deep my spirituality is getting for me. Um, a lot of people, because everything in this life is a fight, it's a test, it's just like a game. It's just like a game. Real talk. And everything that we doing is it's a choice based, either this way or that way. That's what it all comes down to. That's that's what it really all comes down to. Every last aspect. I got the choice to pick up this eraser or put it down. It's either or. I got the choice to pick it up and get to work, or I could have just held it. Everything come down to two choices. And I I'm getting too I'm getting too doggone. I ain't gonna say deep, but just oh man, that's crazy. But that's just the reality of it, man. I'm treated different on two different ends, man. And it ain't about being baby. It ain't about attention. That's what base thinking people is worried about. Why would people be worried about that or thinking on that type of level? That's silly. If we adult, why is people even thinking like that? Obviously, that's what people got to be having on their mind, or if they think on that type of level, or think that that's what you're seeking. Because the thing is, when you realize how important something is, you realize how important it is. But once I get somewhere with what I'm going, I know who's gonna be there to help me get where I got. I remember every last name that was donated to me. But just because you donated to me, don't mean that you can treat me like shit, and it don't mean that you can backstab me. Because at the end of the day, that dollar bill, like I always tell people, it don't mean shit to me. All it do is mean that you can get something with it in exchange for something that you wasn't willing to do or didn't know how to do yourself. That's all it is. Or bribing or anything like that. But I know what's genuine and everything, and I ain't saying that nobody wasn't genuine. But everything, regarding, what I do in this here, the love that I have got, it been real on that other side. I can't lie. I cannot lie. Real talk. And I'm about to get this plan. I just have to erase this real quick. Get this done. I know when something is important, man, and it's that's why I say it ain't. Jealousy is one thing, but if we thought like white people, see when they realize this, another one got talent, the one who got all of the money say, hey, if we work together, he might got talent. I ain't got no talent like he got, but I know more about finances probably than him. If I invested in this nigga right here and got some money through his, and started doing something with his art, it'll help him on his end with the money. I have connections in the art industry. And just thinking on a different, because people just think when it comes to finances and stuff, it comes to houses and all of that type of stuff. But what goes in houses? It ain't no house that you ain't gonna find usually that got some type of art, a picture, some sort, a painting. Whether copy, something got from the store, a fake little painting or whatever, man, you gonna find something somewhere 9 times out of 10. And even before we had photo cameras of each other, you know, I mean, photo cameras of each other, but had cameras to take photos of each other and put on the walls. You got to remember, the artist was the original camera. Before a camera even existed, people had to sit down and get painted because there wasn't no camera to take no picture. So that's why I say it's so much respect behind the artist and what they take out the time to do. I don't think I'm a god or nothing, but it's we so unappreciated. And then when you find an artist out here who got a mind and a vision and a direction, and I could be doing something way completely different, way worse in my life, and then it gets no support. It just shows, the direction of really where the world is really gonna go and end up in the future. I mean, supporting the youth is one thing, yeah, that's important. But we got to realize that we are important too, and if we don't stand together, then or support the ones who really, deserve the support, then we really ain't gonna end up nowhere. Because the youth is always gonna, and we is the youth to the seniors. We gotta always remember that. A lot of us don't just ain't even connected to the youth within ourselves, and that's why I can create the stuff I do too. Because I ain't lost that child within me. I'm glad that I ain't. Because it's just like losing the life within yourself, to be honest. That's just being real. It's like being lost with being connected to your roots, who you truly are. Because that's just being real. But I gotta go ahead and play this. Started doing this number aspect, and this is the number nine, Kabbalistic nonagon, and the golden ratio. So I named this because it's mainly dealing with gematria. If you pay attention and listen to it in depth, that's really what it's dealing with, and that's why I named the video what I named. So this is what this video will be about.
Number 9. Kabbalistic nonagon and the golden ratio. Number 9 will be examined here from several aspects: mathematical, geometric, linguistic, and Kabbalistic. We'll continue the theme presented in my previous video called Sacred Geometry in Kabbalah and discuss number 9 as part of the Tree of Life, the ninth Sephirah called Yesod, the foundation of 22 Hebrew letters, and its connection to the golden ratio and the Fibonacci sequence. We will build the geometric structure of a nonagon and see how it operates with 3 mathematical systems at the same time. The first is a triangle composed of digits 3, 6, and 9. This structure describes a pendulum movement anchored in 9 and moves between 3 and 6 as a result of multiplication and division of 3 and 6, which always result in 3 or 6. And when raised to the power of 2 or more, the result is always 9. The triangle.
Now this video came out 2 years. It was made 2 years ago. So I had never, because this is, well, I'm gonna have to check and see on the date, because if it was in 2017, because YouTube listens to 2018 in June 9th, and I ain't dropped my what's the name 0 through 9 pyramid video, the first one, until I think the first of last year, 2019. So that was after this. So I didn't know anything about this. Like I said, I wasn't even studious on who originally created the circle with the 9. I ain't know nothing about Marco Rota. All I knew about was Nikola Tesla, and I thought that he did.
Triangle is a closed system of polarity and duality, much like electric field or a flex field, and with axis passing by 9. The second system consists of the remaining 6 digits 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, and 5. This set of numbers appear in infinite cycles and describe multiplication and division of numbers.
Now you hear that? I want you to awaken in minds. It's a freaking reason why it's 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5. She did not put 1 at the end. It ain't 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5, 1. 1, 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5, 1. 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5, 1. 1, 2, no. No, it ain't how it go. It's 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5. 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5. 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It ain't no 7 characters, man. It's always somebody, and that's how stuff gets construed out here. And then people actually support it instead of actually, tossing the cue out there of what the truth is. See, this thing with numbers, man, this ain't like words. You ain't going, and you can't go. I'm gonna say that. You ain't going and you can't go. Misconstrue stuff up out here and make it and twist stuff as far as numbers, because this ain't like nothing else. That's why geometry is what it is. You can't get the reason why I say it ain't like nothing else is because it's not debate based like all of the other type of stuff is. You ain't no debating that 1 is 1. You can change the language, but this right here, you can't change that. That this right here is whatever number name you come up with, the essence of what this one finger is. You can't get around that. It is what it is. See, numbers is what it is, and that's what my whole stuff have to deal with. Everything is what it is. It's about balance and symmetry, because it's the core of life. Without it, everything is just like memory. Without it, you ain't going. Without a build and a memory, you ain't gonna have life. That's just a fact. Without a core set. It have to be a core set of rules, logic, and order, and that's what life has to deal with. You cannot uh, disregard. You can disobey it as much as you want to, but you cannot disregard the fact that there is an order to life. There is an order. You can't get, and it ain't about this whole order out of chaos thing. People can twist that and say that if they want to, but it's visible, and that's what this shows as well. There's no speculation, it's actual science, and you can find this applied and seen within nature. Like I say, this is a diamond lattice, a crystal lattice. If you look at a diamond lattice, it looks just exactly like what I'm drawing out right now. Um, this is even deeper than what they would, got put out on the internet. Um, so it's just it's factual, man. And with this whole number thing, it's not necessary for anybody to be out here taking numbers and switching them and placing them in places where they don't need to be. Then people is in places learning things, and really it's this cat over here lying basically at the end of the day about the order. This stuff is the plain simple order. It's like almost somebody changing, the fact of 1, 2, 3, 4, and changing it to 1, 4, 3, 2, 6, 7, and then and coming up with some silly way of saying, that because it's 7 characters, no, 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 period. And that's my last words on it. I just can't. People do stuff just to get under your skin as well, because they be jealous of how much you create. Because I ain't got no reason to be jealous of nobody, bro. I'm not competing with nobody, but I'm trying to find out about myself. What the heck I got to be jealous of somebody else for, and competing with anybody else for either? If I've always, like I said, expressed, niggas be watching me sublime and be competing with me. That's just a fact. They ain't gonna voice it. It be groups of niggas throughout my life that be competing with me. You know what I mean? I'm not a competitive nigga, and that's some men think that's in man nature to be competitive and stuff, because you see stuff like that in nature. I ain't gonna lie, that is true. But I ain't competing with none of these niggas. I'm not competing with none of you niggas, period. Let that, and I mean that. Real talk. I look in that mirror and compete with him, period. That's it. And that's why this video, and I feel like why, the information that comes to me like it does too, because, man, I just don't, yeah, I'm on a different frequency than everybody else. I ain't with all of that silly stuff, man. I just ain't, I ain't living no fantasy dream. It just looked like that from the other end because I'm really core spiritual. I'm not gonna let my ego even, because I feel like I could say that I'm in my crown chakra right now. But how I display myself and everything, my emotional status and how I express myself at this period in my life, uh, I am honest enough to say, and even with how much I've learned, I have not excelled myself to the point that I want to be at, to where I want to crown myself with it. Because I know my potential, and I know that I ain't even nowhere near where I can be. So if niggas in their crown chakra right now, that's why I say, you got to really think, is you still going? Because all it do is start over. I'm not no dumb dude, bro. When it comes to this spirituality and all of it, I ain't got to be on here doing stuff on camera. I ain't, because you know why? Because when I started off, that was the whole reason why I wasn't doing this YouTube stuff in the first place. Because I'm not going to do nothing to impress y'all. I ain't got to impress y'all with nothing, show nothing to y'all, prove nothing to y'all besides the knowledge that I'm showing y'all. And then prove y'all exactly how I can lift you off your feet, literally, and get you to a great place in life, all based on knowledge. Because the fact is, I could, and everything I realize in life is like a game and a test. I could just go down the road and just jump on the bandwagon like everybody else with the Bitcoin thing. I'm not going to talk stuff about people because I grow from my own stuff. I'm not what I don't want to do is talk stuff about people who go down that road. I don't want to do that because I comprehend why they doing it. But me on my end, I'm wise enough to not go down that road, and I know that they not wise enough to see why I am not going down that road. Because you know why? The main thing that people care about is when they see a way to make something financially, a way to break through financially. Most people in this world, you know, they say opportunity either gonna hit you or it's gonna go to the next person. So get it while it's here is how people think. That's why I just said what I said. That I comprehend why people do it. So I ain't gonna talk stuff about it. I can't change that. It is what it is. But the fact is, look and learn because I know that everything in life is a test. People can think that I'm not logical in my brain. I didn't express what I've expressed. You know, niggas can't say I ain't shown to prove even when they ain't had to. When it comes to this 45 and this discovery, it's something very real. It's only a matter of time, and everything, like I say, a lot of stuff that's going on around you is because of me, man. Think about it. When you think about it, man. I'm not. People can think whatever they want to think. I'm telling you. I am telling you. It's look. It's funny to me, man. I know it's crazy saying something like that. I'm not saying that everything, but a lot of stuff that dude. Eyes is on me is all I can say. All eyes on me. To, you know, man, it's crazy, and that's why I say, it's people gonna learn in the end, and it ain't no negative type of learning. It ain't gonna be no aha, because I'm telling you, by that time, I'll be done grew through my root shot. I was just saying I didn't left over to the solar plexus shot, but I ain't really expressed the root love like I need to. I ain't showed the love about my family. I don't put my family out there because I got family that's smart enough to not want their face on the internet like that. So no, I ain't like other people. A lot of y'all put y'all kids all up in these cameras and these, if I just wouldn't move like a lot of y'all. If I had kids, if I had a little girl, bro, she would not be in front of these cameras. I'm being real with your ass. Y'all do not, and I just don't get it, a little boy either, but just y'all just don't think on that type of level on that. I wouldn't be having all, and I get, cameras and everything. You can't escape them and all of this stuff. But I'm just being, what you can escape, what you do got options with, you should harness it and take the power of it. That's out of wisdom. I'm just saying on my end, if I had kids on my end, they would not till a certain age, they would not be in them damn cameras. On face loaded up in the apps, all of that different type of no. It's, but anyway, man. It's crazy.
Forming a timeline and a vortex. And the third system is the Fibonacci sequence. Its geometrical expression begins at the crosspoint of the second system, and it develops in a spiral path up to the point when it meets the decimal counting system and the exact vertex at number 9 and exactly at a distance of 100. That is to say, the vertical line connecting the Fibonacci sequence.
See, you got to know some form of geometry and calculus to a degree to comprehend what they're saying throughout this video. Not really calculus like that, especially geometry, maybe trig, but to comprehend what they're saying, you might not be able to see all of the details as far as the numbers due to the quality of my camera. On this screen display right here. That's why I'm gonna have to play back this stuff on different presentation once my notice and everything comes, renews and stuff with the StreamYard. But this right here goes into the metric system, the decimals, like I've been saying with the 10, number 10 and all of that, you know, number, or starting over at the 10 characters, but starting over at the number 9, which is key. That's why I keep on telling people, see, zero, like when you square numbers, think about it. That's why with the number 0 and 1, that's why this is so important. 1 is under 1. It's like 2 is under 2. 3 is under 1, 2, 3. Well, 1, 2, 3. And then, number 3. 4 is under 4. So as far as blocks that create the animation / the growth or the Z axis, the 45-degree line. That's the counter space basically. So Over here, you will have 5 right here, 6, 7, and 8, and 9. You got 1, 2, 3, and 4 under 5. And 4 is the polar opposite of 5. I'm going to always have to go over this because this is the importance and what this is one of the key elements, one of the key elements that separates and differentiates um, and expands vortex based mathematics to a whole new level from what this is right here. I'm not saying what this video taught me is that this circle right here and what I was saying about it, I have to denounce what I was saying about Marco Rodin and just the circle itself, or even the Freemasons, because they had this circle with these numbers like I said, before Marco Rodin even was born. This was in the 1800s, the Masonic encampment in Nonagon, which I have been showing y'all. I ain't gonna pull up because I know y'all. If you hear enough, you done seen, and you know what I'm talking about. And I'm the only person who even came out talking about that. I don't think nobody else gonna talk about it because I talk about it, and they don't want to. They think that I'm gonna be like, oh, hey, I came out talking about that. I ain't gonna do that every time, but all I expect is niggas, when, hey man, if I toss a jewel out there, bro, and you know that I tossed it out there first, and I did it first, if it ain't outside of the number 45, something that I'm teaching and stuff about, like the NASCAR lines, tossing the topic of that, just saying that, mentioning that I did it, and threw it out there, that's and threw the bone out there. That's cool enough for me. That's all I be asking for. Don't forget who threw the bone out there for you. You know, that's all I'm saying. But the 45 and this whole this that's a whole nother level. Like because I'm the only person. 4 and 5, 45 degrees, all of this stuff, man. This ain't nobody else in history, been talking about it like this. So, you know, that's why I say if anybody come, talking about that, they know they got to do some mentioning. They jacking at that point, trying to. They ain't gonna get far because of how I got stuff set up. That's why stuff moves slow too because I'm more making sure that I got my stuff set up correctly behind the scenes than rushing through stuff and trying to get some money super quick because that's gonna come either way. That's already set up. Be straight on that.
With number 9 is 100 long. This shows the workings of the decimal system with all other systems through number 9. The metric system, or the decimal system, is revealed in the math of geometry of 9, since as we shall see, 9 is the mathematical and the linguistic archive. The nonagon is an energetic matrix, an extensive field for classical mathematical operations, and it contains precise answers to theological symbols as well. Geometric divisions create symbols of abstract value because they embody the spiritual forces that operate behind cosmic life. Symbols are eternal, and their very existence is the proof for that. Even if we do not understand them today, symbols have always been there, and they will remain in the future. And it is always interesting to know the historical context in which they were rediscovered. The nonagon is an example of such ancient but never-ending esoteric symbol, which has a practical meaning, and this can be learned from Marco Rodin and researchers of vortex-based mathematics.
See, and that's what I was saying about, and that's right, 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, and 5. With that, that's where Marco Rodin comes in. But that's where I say, people can't think that you just caping for the Freemasons and doing all of that type of stuff. Just because you voice the truth about it. I'm just a non-biased individual. Other people ain't gonna say that about. They'll act like it's demonic more than anything. But that's where I'm open about it. I'm saying you got to really think about. Do you know everything about where we're at? Do you have every answer about where we're at, people? Do you? Do you have a definitive answer about what this life, the whole purpose, the whole motive, who put you here, if somebody put you here besides your mama, the energy. That's why I said, I think about life, and you can't cut me off thinking about that as I, because what I'm saying is, and about besides your mother is before here, you know, is there a soul bank? I think about life deeper than what people just stop at with the whole mother aspect. Is there a soul bank? Is there a bank of so? Because all I know is I witness if life is in if life is infinite and energy is infinite and reoccurring. What we witness is life comes into this earth and life leaves out of this earth, just like energy leaves out of something and travels into the next. So is it a soul bank like souls waiting on another side somewhere to enter into a soul within a womb? Uh, and that I think about stuff from that type of level, just and I go deeper in my thought process based on stuff like that, on questions like that, realism based questions. And I say realism based because like I ain't going into the multi-dimensional stuff. All I know is I see energy for a fact, which if we are energy, which we are, electromagnetic energy, permeates through our body and everything. Well, energy, as we say, and we witness within this life, is infinite and reoccurring and recycling. Same thing with us. That's what I'm saying. It's that's definitive based on that logic. And just based on that within itself, all I see is that energy comes into bodies and leaves out of bodies. That's so is the energy going and waiting in a deposit in a bank to be withdrawn, just like a thought. And I talked about yesterday with thoughts and energy to be withdrawn or thought of. This come in with and thought comes into action with the sex aspect into becoming a child to be born. Who knows? Number 9 months. Everything happens in synchronicity for a reason. I just ain't I ain't theory and theory based with my logic, man. I take it real serious.
Number 9 is well known in the esoteric of many religions. It is sacred in the Baha'i religion. In Greek mythology, the 9 muses are the goddesses of art and science. The mysteries of the Nonagon occupy the minds of Gurdjieff and Uspensky, and in Kabbalah, the 9 Sephirah Sod is the foundation of the 22 Hebrew letters.
And they bring up later that the curve goes from corner to corner when they make, and that's why I was saying to guys, I'm not illogical. That's why I say the aspect of the, I'm bringing in pure balance with the male and the female aspect because the thing is with the balance thing, the curve is very important and I ain't taking away from that. But the curve don't exist without uh, order. You know, it got to be order in order to lay down that curve, the points to create the curve, because it's points over time with electromagnetic, like when like when an onion or an apple is built, because an apple is built, everything is a build. We don't look at it like that because we don't really look at a time lapse like that. But that's how an apple grows because it's going by the sun and the moon going around it over time. At the speed that it's going, and it causes it. That's the energy that's emitted into the apple. The sun being electricity and the moon being magnetism, or so mysterious. Uh, Coming and working together in that spiraling motion as it goes around and creates that spiral around it over time, which time comes into play once again with energy working hand in hand to create and build a spiral from because it's points over time that is building every single day, all throughout the day. That apple is dropping what we call, or not dropping, but the energy is coming from. This is where the energy to create something. This is where the GMO foods, all of this stuff is so freaking important because they know this stuff. Because see, I'm thinking on that level to get me into knowing how to genetically modify food myself, but that's something I wouldn't want to do. The knowledge that you can have can be applied for something positive because instead of with the food can be not just you can alter the whole growth process of the food, which is what they also doing. Hinder the seed building process, all of this stuff. Everything is shaped like it is for a reason because it's going off of a code. Um, and when that spiral is being built, that's why when you look at an onion, it has rings around it, just like when you cut a tree open, it got rings. Uh, when you look at an apple, it looks, very much like almost like this right here, this center. Almost, not really exactly, but it got a magnetism type of, a heart type of aspect going on, just like a magnetic field. And hence apple, you know, with the bitten apple with Eve, Adam and Eve. They're gonna talk about Adam within this actual video actually. And now I've learned something new about the number 45 and Adam, apparently. See, I'll let them talk because she does a great and excellent job. She built this whole video with this information herself. All I know is she did an excellent job because all it does is it proves even more that what I've been doing is right on point and right to the T. I mean, all the way to the T. Because that's wild. You know, 2 and 7 even get brought up within this video. And like I told you, that's where square is created. We just talked about the Vitruvian Man yesterday and the navel. I did the overlay with my stuff yesterday, just to re-study it again. And it turned out that the navel point, um, what they were saying about that shift and how he had to just shift it just a few centimeters just to hide some information or else he would get in trouble for revealing it. When I did the shift on my work, it came out to, the navel. It was a shift between the navel and the private area for whatever that may mean. So all I know is when we think of they speak of the body being the temple so much, within, uh, you know, uh, religions and stuff like that. The body being the temple of Solomon, son of moon, son, uh, and these temples have always what something sticking up, like a penis, So I was just thinking about that and looking at that. I don't know what that may mean or nothing, but I think about sex and how they say with the square and compass generation. I don't know what it may have because that's the type of stuff with information I know that I can't really. It may mean something, it's real important that I just may be looking over at the time because I'm focused. But you know, that stuff I really ain't too focused on like that.
Mathematically, 9 is the last digit of the decimal system, the last end of all units, since each number, if we add all of its digits, eventually will be reduced to only one of 9 digits. Starting from 10, that returns to 1, since the two digits 1 and 0 equal 1, and so any number, large or small, after reduction will be found only between 1 and 9. 9 cannot be crossed. 9 is one step before 10, one place before completion. Since 10 is the number of perfection, the sum of the first 10 digits, 55, in Gematria means everything, all. So perfection or completion are found in 10 and the letter Yod. If we add the first 10 digits and the power of 2, the result, 385,
I'm gonna learn Hebrew. I'm about
means
to learn it
Safa,
real heavy.
language, or
That's what I
Shekinah,
wanted to say as
the
well. Is
divine
that
presence.
this video inspired me to learn more Hebrew or learn Hebrew. Period. Because I'm studious on languages and stuff. I mean, it ain't no reason that I shouldn't be. Hebrew looks so much like the freaking pig. I gotta speak very respectfully about it, but it looks so much like the pig pen cipher, the Masonic cipher, till it ain't funny, you know. That's really funny to me. I always looked at that and thought that, and I actually had somebody say that too. But I've got so much stuff with that. It's so funny to me, like when people react to it. But they got used to it enough over time now. But it looked like some modern hieroglyphics. One dude said, then another dude said, bro, that like something scary. Somebody see that, they gonna back up real quick. All type of stuff. One dude said, asked me, was it Hebrew actually? Is that Hebrew? Nah. No, it's not Hebrew, man. It'd be so freaking funny, man. And I know them Masons that be in every single chat because they exist everywhere in every single chat. It's always gonna be at least one. I know they be laughing. I know when they first see it, it piss some of them off, depending on what jurisdiction they with. But I know they be laughing to a degree amongst themselves and be pissed off to the same slight. It'd be funny, but they don't mess with you, boy, because they know I'm on. Uh,
Or Asiya, the fourth world, out of the four worlds,
it's
known
like
as
looking in the mirror.
Abiyah,
I'm a
Absolute,
hey, if they demons, I'm a demon to them. That's all I can say.
Bria,
If the public view them as a demon, hey, I'm the demon. It's like, it's like Christ or the devil. Man, don't get me started laughing on that mess, man.
Yetzirah,
Hey,
and Asiya.
the crow to the
In
eagle.
short, number 10, or the decimal system, is bound to language,
Oh
to
boy.
Shekinah, and to the 10th
Hey, I'm
Sefirah,
only gonna live
Malchut,
one life.
kingdom, and Malchut
They
in
gonna keep their
Gematria,
distance. I'm gonna keep mine.
496, is the
That's all I
sum
know.
of the geometric values of all
One
22 Hebrew letters.
one dislike,
From 1
dislike,
to
dislike.
400, the sum
Let me
1.
let me rewind it because I'm over talking the important information. I'm only gonna live this life once. This life, and that's very different from living one life.
Bria, Yetzirah, and Asiya. In short, number 10, or the decimal system, is bound to language, to Shekinah, and to the 10th Sefirah, Malchut, kingdom, and Malchut in Gematria, 496, is the sum of the geometric values of all 22 Hebrew letters. From 1 to 400, the sum 1495. When thousands return to ones, it becomes 496. The word Tomim, the oracle of the Kohen, or Malchut, kingdom. On the other hand, if we add only the first 9 digits, the result 45 means Adam. And again, 45 is reduced to 9 because 4 plus 5 equals 9. Thus, number 9, Yesod, aims directly at Adam, even in the natural way, as set forth by nature.
Now you remember my with the tree of life, and then I also said that the human body with the spinal cord could be like a tree, a tree's trunk, and then our brain is like where all of the the leaves and limbs and stuff, all of the information and stuff synonymous to that. Tree of life. This is the tree of life diagram, and that's the egg of life in the background too. The egg of life is very Masonic based. You know, you got the seed of life. It might be the seed of life because I ain't looked at it in a while. One of them got 13 circles, and the other one got 7. Hence the letter G. Uh, but seed of life and the egg of life, and that was when I was really first coming into my knowledge as far as Freemasonry like that. That's one of the first things that I actually learned about was the egg of life and the seed of life, and from that point, it was on from there. Uh, so with the seed of life, of course, that's what you got right there. They just mentioned, of course, as you see, they just introduced the number 45. Won't be the last time it's heard of, but they just mentioned the atom, like I said earlier, or Adam. Mentioned Adam from the Bible, um, like I said earlier. Now, like I've been saying, Adam, I'm learning something new from them right here with this, because Adam is something I didn't know what 45 had anything to do with that. But when you've heard other people say that atoms ain't real, as far as atoms, atomical things, I'm not saying that they wrong, and I'm not saying that atoms is real at all. But we know what they're talking about as far as molecules on a microscopic level, talking about the micro. Because a lot of people, they even will concur and say that, Adam and Eve wasn't physical beings as far as when they was first talking about the creation, within the first creation within the Bible, because there was different points of creation. So the first one they was talking about was actually they wasn't talking about actually, you know, mankind, So and that's comprehensible, but that's why I say this right here is the ultimate microcosm, because it's something that it's infinite. Every time that you look at it, it blows my mind, and it takes somebody really, once it's done, it's going to be even more mind blowing once the whole puzzle piece is seen together and come together, especially what I put in the background. Every single square, every last one that you look at, every single square is the whole thing, the whole doggone thing. For every single, man, it's mind blowing. Even it take mathematics to a whole new visionary level. The Nazca lines that answers questions about that. Why we stop counting at, why 360 degrees is in a circle. Why we stop counting at nine. That's why I say this is the key to the universe. This is the lost symbol, if you want to name it that. It means so much, and I'm not playing. And I I can't. I'm under describing how, significant this is. Because, see, I ain't saying this is the end all be all. What I'm saying is this is the start, like a ripple effect. This is the start of something serious. Because in the future, it's going 9 times out of 10, it might be one of y'all kids. Everything here happened for a reason. It might be one of y'all. Y'all might be see everything happened for a reason. That me saying that somebody, because hearing all of the senses and stuff, this all got to deal with the DNA, and because memory and all of that, because that's what that's what our memory, what are memories, what is dreams. If you didn't have no senses, how would you dream? How would you have memory if you didn't have senses? Senses and memory are very, not synonymous, but they go hand in hand. See, all of this stuff is stuff that I got to write out, and map out, like thoughts and memory. Um, but without the senses, you ain't gonna be able to have. It's That's what the building is. It's like the extensions of like the arms and the feet. If you ain't got nothing to build with, you ain't gonna have a building. You know, so you ain't gonna have. And the building in this analogy is your memory. What you build with is your thoughts and your senses. Uh, and without the senses, you won't have no thoughts. If you don't have anything to sense anything, how can you think about something? Because that's what your cranial nerves. It's all got to deal with the spine, like the tree of life, like right here. The cranial nerves, which is the 12 cranial nerves at the top, which people usually leave out, in conjunction with the 33 degrees of the spine, is 45. 33 and 12 is 45. All of this stuff, um, sperm and egg, male and female. When you think of us with our spinal cord, spinal, sperm, is shaped very much like that. The spinal cord is shaped just like the, sperm tail, the tadpole, and the brain is the top, which would be like Adam. That's just my take on it. That's just right. That's not my full take, but that's just a loop.
Sure. Through the 9 lunar months of any Adam in his mother's womb. Therefore,
I can
Adam
say as a
is
shit. I
not
don't know what.
perfect,
That's just
much like
that's just a loop. What the?
9. Adam is not 10 and not 1, but always a little less than the whole. But since 10 is united with 1, that is to say, Malchut unites with the crown in Kabbalistic terms. 9 remains the assembler of all numbers and letters. As we can see, Yesod is rooted in the kingdom of language and the decimal system, and it is the beginning of the tree trunk of the tree of life. According to the Book of Formation, the 10 Sefirot, or the decimal system, was chosen naturally. It was a natural choice out of many choices. So if the decimal system is a natural selection, it is also a divine selection, since nature equals to Elohim, God, both 86 in Gematria. If nature chose the decimal system, it means that God chose it, and not only for math, but as a base for the Hebrew alphabet, his language. The diagram of 10 Sefirot illustrates the way in which
See,
he
this
saw.
is really impactful stuff, man. Like, why would these guys go to the amount of secrecy? Because what I can tell y'all is, Masons ain't gonna tell y'all a lot of stuff that I can tell y'all, and that's just a fact. But if you don't cherish the people who, while they alive, that tell you stuff like that, That's when stuff, goes down the drain and stuff. But for some stuff, yeah, questioning everything is very important. That's where that questioning stuff comes into play in great hands. Now, with Masons, I'm telling you the truth that they have a lot of knowledge on Hebrew-based characters and just Hebrew in general. You know, all of that stuff. You know that this stuff goes back to link back like this Kabbalah. Kabbalistic, non-Kabbalistic, nonagon, the golden ratio. You know, you can't be afraid of things just because of titles. You got to look at nature and stuff like that too. You know, you got to be able to pick out what's real and what's not, and do your own experimentation. But they are very studious on or incorporative of Hebrew alphabet within their work. So all I'm saying is, why would they go to the amount of secrecy if this stuff meant nothing? You know what I mean? To hide certain stuff that they do with this stuff. That's just a fact. It means something, and it's to a level that the average person wouldn't think means nothing. So, and that's part of what the secret, and they good on that end. As long as people continue to think like that, honestly, if it's something, because I really feel like it's something, some magical like cheat codes about life that a lot of people just don't get, and it's some glitches that a lot of people they catch onto. A lot of people will see it. Like if you really saw something in life that tripped you out, like in a movie or something, you 9 times out of 10 wouldn't tell the average person. You know what I mean? You'll probably